Hello everyone. Welcome to my YNR 24 spoilers. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The recent altercation between Billy and Adam has a cascading effect. According to previews for The Young and the Restless, Billy Abbott still struggles to contain himself around Adam Newman because he can't stand him. Billy is a frequent puncher. However, at Kane Ashby's Genoa City Athletic Club, he puts Adam on the ground with his fist. Because of the threat Kane poses, tensions have escalated between the three men mentioned. Ironically, Billy and Adam ought to declare a truce so that they may concentrate on protecting their businesses from the artificial intelligence weapon that Phyllis Summers has stolen and intends to employ. Billy is unaware that months ago, Victor Newman gave Adam the command to publish the Newman Media hit piece. Adam postponed that launch in response to Chelsea Lawson's calm request. However, she saw the necessity of that strategy, and Adam let the smear fly. Adam Newman's development over time. During his tenure as this character from 2009 to 2014, Michael undoubtedly had some of the best performances. That was when Adam thought he had struck Delia Abbott by mistake. YNR, spoilers for Monday, October 27th. Does Phyllis set Victor Kane up by selling his stolen AI program? See the story. The following Adam was Justin Hartley of Tracker, who served from 2014 to 2016. That was a pivotal time in this character's development. Adam underwent substantial plastic surgery and had his face altered as a result of the vehicle accident that he and Billy were in. Time is a personal experience. Grossman has been a member of the cast for 7 calendar years, even though it doesn't seem like it. His run started in 2019. He has been excellent at balancing the softer version of Adam that was developed for Hartley with the tougher one that was requested to be portrayed. Recalling that tragically momentous day, that fateful day when Billy stopped to acquire ice cream for a party, is when Adam and Billy's difficulties began. He was only gone for a short while, leaving Delia and her dog Dash in the car. However, those minutes marked the end of Delia's life. Since then, Billy has never been the same. Naturally, Chloe Fisher, her mother, was devastated by the loss of her daughter. Adam was unaware that he had reportedly struck Delia with his vehicle on the desolate, dark, and isolated road outside of GC. But when he realized that he and Chelsea's kid, Connor Newman, may have Delia's corneas through transplantation, he said nothing. That daylight door was left open for a possible future adjustment because another car was on the road when Delia was struck. Thus, Adam might not be the bad guy. Is Billy Abbott ever going to grow up? During the Billy Miller era, Victor called him a pompous Billy boy. Because of Billy's actions during his first marriage to Victoria Newman, the mustache gave him that nickname. Victor has only ever given Billy grace once, during the plot when Delia passed away. Victor's defense of Adam was linked to even that. Like Grossman's portrayal of Adam, Thompson's portrayal of Billy is complex. Both characters exhibit weakness and a lack of self-control over their immature tendencies. Perhaps a more pertinent issue would be if Billy and Adam will ever grow up and stop acting in the same ways. Those who care about both characters are constantly drawn into this seemingly never-ending conflict, which has a noticeable knock-on impact. Chelsea and Adam are up against an unforeseen obstacle. According to spoilers for Monday, October 27th, 2025's episode of The Young and the Restless, Kane confesses to Lily, Daniel, and Tessa establish ground rules, and Adam and Chelsea face an unexpected test. The Young and the Restless next episodes. Is it time to act? Adam and Eric Braden on The Young and the Restless. When it came to eliminating Kane and Billy, Adam and Chelsea agreed, even though Chelsea felt sorry for Billy. They are fortunate to be together now, since they will encounter an unforeseen obstacle on Monday's show. Will a competing media outlet produce a sensational story on Adam and Chelsea in retaliation against Newman Media? After all, individuals may not want some aspects of their past to be discussed, but nothing is insurmountable for Chelsea and Adam as long as they stay together. beneficial to the soul. Regarding the young and the restless, Cain and Lily. Cain was able to convince Lily to listen to him, and he opened up to her. She appeared more receptive to what Cain had to say. It's possible that the two will reunite at some point. Watch for Cain to confess to Lily on Monday's program. What more could he tell her that he hasn't already told her? Cain might be open about what transpired during his time away from Genoa City. Perhaps he will tell Lily that all of his visitors were imprisoned in his chateau last summer for reasons other than the storm. Since Lily dislikes dishonesty, yet values honesty, it's a game of chance. Ground rules. Tessa and Daniel on Young and the Restless. Well, it did. Last week, Daniel and Tessa shared a kiss. She was feeling vulnerable and had had a little too much to drink. She asked Daniel to kiss her while he was walking her up the stairs at the Genoa City Athletic Club, and he obliged. Watch for the two to lay out some ground rules on Monday's broadcast. It is reasonable to assume that Daniel and Tessa would like to maintain their friendship and undoubtedly keep taking guitar lessons. However, if there is desire and Tessa and Mariah's relationship is still so tense, then that cannot work out. Adam and Billy's most recent argument has a ripple effect. Few rivalries in the Young and the Restless lengthy and turbulent history have been as intensely passionate, profoundly psychological, and unendingly sad as the one between Billy Abbott and Adam Newman. Their rivalry, which was stoked by feelings of regret, loss, and miscommunication, still has a lasting impact on Genoa City. Viewers are reminded that even after years of development and atonement, these two men are still caught in an emotional cycle of regret and retaliation by their most recent argument, which ended in yet another physical battle at the Genoa City Athletic Club. What started out as a single heartbreaking moment years ago has turned into a generational rivalry that affects their families, romantic partners, and even their corporate empires. According to the most recent spoilers, Billy's failure to manage his anger toward Adam starts a domino effect that shatters alliances, reopens old scars, and draws unwary players into the storm once more. The psychological complexity of Billy Abbott, a man who will always be defined by the loss of his daughter Delia, is at the center of this battle. Time has never been able to heal the wound caused by the event. Billy's repressed pain and unresolved trauma are rekindled every time he sees Adam, the guy who was formerly thought to be the cause of Delia's death. Billy's response to Adam is still intensely human, spontaneous, and visceral even after all these years have gone. His punching of Adam at the Genoa City Athletic Club is more than just an act of violence. It's the culmination of years of resentment, sorrow, and remorse. Billy's punch serves as a metaphor for his anger toward fate, Adam, and the harsh randomness of loss that has characterized his life ever since that night. Even though he may be Billy's adversary, Adam Newman is a tragic figure in his own way. Dualities, the good and the bad, the hero and the villain, the prodigal son and the eternal outcast, have always characterized Adam's life in Genoa City. He is Victor Newman's most complicated child, hated and adored by his family, constantly trying to gain acceptance, but unable to control his own destructive tendencies. Years ago, he made the decision to keep Delia's accident a secret out of love and anxiety for his son, Connor, rather than out of malice. However, his choice solidified his reputation as Genoa City's black sheep and doomed him to a life of distrust and animosity. A recurring theme in Adam's life is his incapacity to completely escape his father's influence, which is highlighted when he postpones the publication of a smear piece against Billy before acting on Victor's orders. Under the pretense of paternal mentoring, Victor Newman has consistently used Adam as a pawn and an enemy, trying to test his devotion. The intricacy of Adam's moral compass is demonstrated by his choice to ultimately release the popular song at Victor's request. Even while he strives to act morally, his need for acceptance frequently leads him to take behaviors that feed the very hostility he wishes to avoid. Adam is caught up once more in the web of deceit and deception that characterizes his family's history, despite his efforts to start over with Chelsea Lawson. Billy, on the other hand, is still unable to distinguish between Adam's current self and his previous self. He is oblivious to the fact that he and Adam are similar in many respects because of his animosity. Every man bears the weight of his guilt. Adam for not coming forward when he realized his involvement in Delia's murder. Billy for leaving her alone. Both are still plagued by their incapacity to forgive themselves, and they have both made careless choices out of love. Therefore, their conflict is more about projection than hatred. Adam sees in Billy the essence of a world that can never fully exonerate him, and Billy sees in Adam everything he hates about himself. There are commercial ramifications to their altercation at the athletic club as well. Tensions between the men become more than just personal hostility as Kane Ashby returns to the scene. With Phyllis Summers's participation with a stolen artificial intelligence weapon, a subplot that gives the classic soap opera narrative a contemporary, tech-driven twist, Kane's presence in Genoa City acts as a destabilizing force. Ironically, despite having every incentive to work together to combat this shared threat, Adam and Billy are unable to do so because of their mutual contempt. The agony of pride, a larger subject that has pervaded the young and the restless, is reflected in this incapacity to cooperate. Characters in Genoa City frequently stand on the brink of salvation or destruction, and pride decides which way they go. The ever-scheming Phyllis Summers is a wild card in this developing drama. Her choice to use stolen AI technology as a weapon highlights her own moral dilemma. Ambition and intelligence are two-edged swords for Phyllis. Her brilliance frequently causes her to undermine herself. She becomes both an aggressor and a possible victim by interfering in the Newman Abbott quarrel, and her schemes raise the possibility of a bigger conflict between the city's powerful individuals. The stolen AI is a metaphor for the uncontrollable emotional and technological forces that destroy Genoa City's most ambitious leaders. Billy and Adam's feud has an impact on people who love them that goes beyond business and ancestry. Chelsea Lawson is once more torn between reason and loyalty. She showed compassion and wisdom by pleading with Adam to postpone the attack piece months earlier, but she also recognizes the need for strategic aggression in the Newman media industry. Although her and Adam's connection is based on mutual understanding and a shared history, it is continuously put to the test by the ghosts of their past. Chelsea's sympathy for Billy makes things much more difficult because she understands the suffering that fuels his animosity. Perhaps she is one of the few characters who can see both men clearly, realizing that their motivations are more wounded humanity than malice. However, an unforeseen obstacle stands in the way of Adam and Chelsea's restored unity. In the world of soap operas, happiness is ephemeral and equilibrium is never permanent. According to the spoilers, a competing media organization might launch a response, possibly revealing their hidden agenda. Given Adam's contentious past, this kind of publicity could mean disaster for his career. It might destroy the tenuous stability Chelsea has worked so hard to preserve. However, the story implies that they can resist any outside attack as long as they stay together. Their shared resilience, the capacity to face their shortcomings head-on and come out stronger as a result, is what makes them strong, not their innocence. In the meantime, another chapter of emotional turmoil is reopened by Kane Ashby's confession to Lily Winters. Long renowned for his charm and cunning, Kane is a guy who seeks atonement via the truth. Although his admission to Lily might provide him with a long-awaited closure, it also runs the risk of resurfacing his barely healed scars. A woman known for her grace and honesty, Lily has endured years of betrayal and heartache. She seems to have a lingering tenderness, a realization that love, no matter how broken, never really goes away, because she was prepared to listen to Kane. Their exchange perfectly captures the show's recurrent theme of forgiveness and its boundaries. How much suffering can love withstand before it eventually crumbles? Tessa Porter and Daniel Porter traverse a more nuanced emotional fork in the road at the same time. They are forced to face the limits of friendship and desire after their unexpected kiss, which was the result of their fragility and bewilderment. Both are going through a period of change in their lives, with Tessa battling the turbulence of her relationship with Mariah and Daniel reestablishing his bond with his daughter. Although their choice to set ground rules is a sign of emotional maturity, such attempts at logical control are rarely successful in the world of the young and the restless. Their plot reminds us that the heart rarely follows the rules the head tries to set. Going back to Billy and Adam, their relationship still serves as the emotional center of the drama in Genoa City. Their antagonism, which symbolizes two opposing but entwined powers, is legendary rather than merely human. The archetype of Lucifer is reflected in Adam, the fallen son seeking redemption. Intelligent, ambitious, misunderstood, and constantly battling a society that evaluates him based on his past. Billy, the bereaved father driven by a desire for vengeance, represents the tragic hero unable to overcome his own shortcomings. Their exchanges veer between animosity and grudging respect, implying that there may be a hidden possibility for peace hidden beneath the layers of hostility. True peace between them, however, would deprive the story of its vitality, as soap operas thrive on constant tension. The big question is whether Billy will ever grow up. The mocking moniker Billy Boy still looms large over Victor Newman. Billy continues to be impetuous, reactive, and emotionally unstable despite years of achievement and personal development. He can't find long-term happiness with Victoria or anyone else because he can't let go of the past. Billy's dual roles as victim and aggressor, a guy who wishes to heal but is unable to avoid renewing his own wounds, are expertly portrayed by Jason Thompson. In a similar vein, Adam, played by Mark Grossman, has developed into one of the most complex characters on daytime TV, skillfully fusing Justin Hartley's portrayal of fragility with Michael's brutality. Adam, as portrayed by Grossman, is both introspective and aggressive, capable of tenderness but plagued by his darker tendencies. The terrible loss of Delia served as the emotional foundation for Billy and Adam's history, which continues to be the focal point of their conflict. Everything changed that fateful night when Billy left Delia alone in the car. Although the error was the result of negligence rather than intent, the repercussions were disastrous. Adam's silence, after realizing he might have struck Delia with his automobile, caused an irreparable rift between them. However, the uncertainty surrounding the collision, that another vehicle might have been involved, raises the question of whether Adam was actually at fault. Such narrative ambiguity is ideal for soap operas, which keep audiences guessing and emotionally committed for years. Billy would have to face the unsettling reality that his anger has always been misguided if a later revelation cleared Adam. Adam's journey is one of self-acceptance, whereas Billy's is one of guilt and retribution. Cycles of demise and salvation, treachery and forgiveness, have characterized his years in Genoa City. Adam has evolved into a complex character whose biggest struggle is with himself because to the contributions of each iteration of the character, from Hartley to Grossman, his connection with Victor continues to be the central theme of his life, a never-ending quest for autonomy, respect, and love. However, despite his resentment of the control, Adam is still pulled to his father's orbit and craves acceptance, no matter how many times Victor manipulates or undercuts him. One of the young and the persistent themes is encapsulated in this tension. That family can serve as both a haven and a prison. The conflict between Billy and Adam has far-reaching consequences. The aftershocks of their hostility are felt by every character who is associated with them, including Victor, Victoria, Lily, Kane, and Chelsea. Their competition has an impact on public opinion, media conflicts, and business tactics in the corporate sector. In the private sphere, it tests loyalty, fosters treachery, and molds relationships. Their incapacity to put their shared past behind them guarantees that Genoa City will always be a battlefield where ambition and emotion clash. The psychological realism of this plot is what makes it so captivating. Beneath the dramatization, there is an examination of guilt, sadness, and the tendency for people to harm themselves. The yearning for justice, the need for redemption, and the fear of not being forgiven are the genuinely relatable feelings that fuel Billy and Adam's animosity rather than cartoonish villainy. Their narrative serves as a reminder to viewers that healing is not a straight line, that trauma can reappear in unexpected ways, and that peace is not always achieved via forgiveness. Thematically, the ripple effect of their most recent conflict illustrates the interdependence of all Genoa City events and goes beyond simple narrative devices. A single impetuous blow starts a series of events that affect every aspect of the story. The unstable energy emerging from Billy and Adam's dispute influences Chelsea's problems, Kane's confessions, Phyllis's plans, and even Daniel and Tessa's emotional entanglements, either directly or indirectly. It serves as a reminder that every emotion is contagious in soap opera narratives, and that every choice, no matter how minor, has the power to change the lives of many people. The Young and the Restless has always, in many respects, reflected the human condition by examining universal truths via heightened drama. Billy and Adam's fight highlights the age-old conflict between revenge and atonement, guilt and forgiveness. It poses the question of whether people are destined to repeat their mistakes, or if they can actually change. It looks at the destructive force of unresolved grief and how it warps perception, transforming possible partners into enduring foes. It also honors resiliency, the ability of the human spirit to persevere, fall in love again, and find hope even in the most dire situations. The question of whether Billy and Adam will ever achieve peace is still present as the show progresses. Though unlikely, the prospect is nonetheless alluring. Perhaps learning to forgive oneself is the true path to redemption rather than forgiving others. Perhaps, just possibly, the cycle of suffering can come to an end if Adam can genuinely come to terms with his past and Billy can acknowledge that his hatred has been a cover for his guilt. Until then, the tension of their antagonism will continue to pulse through Genoa City, with every encounter having an impact on the lives of those in its vicinity. The tale of Billy Abbott and Adam Newman is ultimately not just one of rivals. Rather, it is one of two men who are destined to be together forever by tragedy, fate, and the harsh reflection of their own humanity. Their conflicts may rock Genoa City to its foundation, but they also serve as a reminder to fans of why The Young and the Restless is still the best American soap opera, a story of love, suffering, and the never-ending quest for atonement.